Welcome back to another episode of Life Advice You Don't Hear in Church. My name's Tiffany Dawn, and today I want to share with you how to raise perfect kids. I figured today is my daughter's 5th birthday. Clearly, I am so qualified to talk about this. I have been a mom for 5 years now, and in utero too. So basically, I have this all figured out, and these are the life advice tips that I would give you if you also want to raise perfect little angels like mine. We love talking about relationships here on this channel, and I figured, what relationship have we all had? Either a relationship or non-relationship with a parent or with a child. So whether you're a parent trying to figure out how to raise perfect children, or whether you're a kid who's like, why the heck did my parents do what they did? This is for you. When I was growing up at my church, I felt like there was a lot of pressure to parent perfectly and to raise perfect kids. And these are the tips that I think they all needed to know, or maybe they all did know, and that's why they did what they did. And I feel like that affected me and my siblings, and maybe a lot of you as well. So let's talk about how to raise perfect children. And stay to the end for the best piece of advice yet, and I'm serious. Number 1, make every choice perfectly. I mean, what school you choose. Do you send them to preschool? Do you send them to nursery school? Are they with a parent? Are they homeschooled? Are they public school? Are they private? Clearly, you have to make the right choice, because otherwise it will wreck the rest of their lives. Tip number 2, make sure you parent out of embarrassment and fear. If you are afraid of something happening, let that show in the way you parent. Let that show in the way you react to your kids. Don't talk it through with them. Don't calm yourself down. Just parent out of fear, because the best decisions we make are made out of fear and embarrassment. Tip number 3, never say you're sorry. This shows weakness. You are the parent. You are not weak. You are perfect, and you're raising perfect kids. Don't apologize, no matter what. Tip number 4, the only biblical way to discipline your child is spanking. This is the only way to raise perfect children. You must spank. There are no other alternate forms of discipline that are appropriate and okay to use and helpful. I mean, really, are you even a Christian if you don't spank? Tip number 5, discourage emotional outbursts. It doesn't matter if your child's hungry and tired. It doesn't matter if they're going through this really tough time, or they've been imagining this day going perfectly and now it hasn't. It doesn't matter. They should not be having emotional outbursts. It does not matter. Get that self-control in them. And lastly, number 5, don't let anybody else see you struggle. You don't want people to know that you are not perfect. You don't want them to feel like they can relate to you. You don't want them to feel like you're just another mom trying to figure this out. Act like you've got it all together at all times, because, I mean, what kind of Christian example would you be setting if you were struggling in parenting, or if you asked for help? I think those tips just about do it. And hey, guys, quiet! People can't know that you're not perfect! Okay, ladies, real talk. When I was 16 and learning how to drive, my dad was telling me which way to turn to get home. And I was getting so annoyed because I felt like he was telling me too last minute. And I was like, can you please just tell me the whole entire way home so I can memorize it and I won't have to wait for you to tell me which way to go? And he goes, but then you wouldn't need me. And God works this way. He doesn't give us the whole map with every detail spelled out, or we wouldn't need him. Instead, he gives us one step at a time. And I'll never forget that. Motherhood is so like that. My mother-in-law puts it this way for parenthood, is that you just pray that God would fill in the gaps. She's like, no matter what choice you make, homeschool, public school, private school, whether they do youth sports or they don't, every choice you make, there are pros and cons, and there will always be a gap. There will always be some things that are not going to be perfect in that choice, some things that are going to be the downside of that choice. So you just ask God to fill in the gaps. And that has become my prayer in parenthood. God, fill in the gaps and give me wisdom with each little step, with each little day, because parenthood is hard. There is no perfect child, and that's a beautiful thing. There's no perfect way to parent. We're all just figuring it out as we go and doing the best we can. And that's okay. I read this book by Brené Brown when I was pregnant with Natalie. It's called The Gifts of Imperfect Parenting, and it was a game changer for me. She said, instead of trying to be a good parent, just try to be an engaged parent. Because otherwise we're focused on, am I a good enough mom? Am I good enough at this? That's not the issue. The issue is, are you engaged with your child? Do you have a relationship with them? Do you have that connection? And that really set me free, because I have this perfectionistic mindset of like, I gotta be perfect, I gotta do everything perfectly, and if I mess up today, it's gonna mess up the rest of their lives. But instead to realize, like, kids are resilient, they're gonna be okay. I can apologize and say, I'm so sorry, Natalie, that I yelled at you for that. instead of taking the time to listen and to think and to calm myself down, or I'm so sorry that I reacted that way, I was scared, or whatever it is. So I just want to encourage you, if you're a mom, don't try to raise perfect children. First of all, they won't be able to relate to the rest of the world. And second of all, it will stress you out to no end. Instead, just be an engaged parent. Get to know your kid. Do the best you can. And James and I will just be over here saving for therapy for our girls when they're older, because I'm sure they'll need it for something. Comment below what's your best mom tip. Love you guys. Bye.